Hi, what I'd like to talk about today is trolls. Okay, let's go back to the beginning, setting the scene. We're in Denmark and World War II has just ended. This is Thomas Dam, the inventor of trolls, but for English speakers, it's pronounced Dam. Now, he had quite a few jobs, from bricklayer to fisherman to baker, but when the local flour factory shut down, he lost his livelihood and he had a hard time providing for his family. So he's shoveling snow to make money, and then in the evenings he liked to sit by the fireside and carve things out of wood and make little toys and creatures for his children. And he liked to take inspiration from local folklore. So other children like them, he makes them for them, so his wife's like, you should try to sell these. So he goes to the next town over and starts selling them door to door. I'm the inventor of trolls. If you couldn't tell, that's what I'm talking about. He's selling these hand-carved wooden figurines from door to door, and it's going pretty well. So well that he starts to take commissions, and it becomes his only job. Well, this store in Sweden wants him to do the storefront with Santa Claus in it, and he's in Denmark, so that's a pretty big deal. And so he carves the Santa Claus, but you can't really see it from the street. And this is kind of how trolls were made, because he made these little elves and he put springs in them from a mattress that he took apart, and they started he made a mechanism so they're bouncing up and down, and it brought a lot of attention to the store. But everyone loved the elves so much that they start asking him to make them these dolls, which became trolls. So he's rushing to fill all these orders for Christmas, and they're all like handmade wooden dolls, glass eyes, wool hair. He can't keep up with the orders. Great news that he's having all these people want the troll dolls, but he just can't keep up with all the demand. So he has to tweak the dolls. He takes the springs out, he stops carving them out of wood. What he does is he makes these clay molds so that now they're plastic, and he stuffs them with wood shavings, and he gets his family to help with production. Oh, and they get a company name, Damn Things. By 1959, he has his own factory to help sell his good luck trolls. That's what they're called. Then in 1961, he has to tweak it again. He did something called rotational molding so that he could just try to keep up with the demand. Also, he switched the material what they were made out of to vinyl, which is what they're still made out of. By 1962, they're an international sensation, and this is the first wave of trolls. There are 3 waves of trolls, by the way. They're selling them from New Zealand to Florida. International, I tell you. So it's the early 60s, and Thomas Dam's trolls are super popular. This is from Life magazine. So what did a troll doll cost in the 60s? The low end, it would be 65 cents, which is $5.59 today. On the high end, we're talking $5.95 in the 60s, so about $50 today. In 1963, the damn troll dolls. I can't say it without laughing. I love it. Okay. They're named Toy of the Year by the U.S. Toy Association, and they're almost the first selling toy. They're second, only to Barbie. To give you an example of how popular these were in the 60s, Damn Things had to purchase the entire Icelandic wool harvest for the year to keep up with the demand. But then the story takes a turn. Due to copyright issues, a lot of other brands start knocking off Thomas's troll designs. Thomas Dam, the inventor of trolls, unfortunately, he only saw a small percentage of the global sales from trolls. Because of copyright issues, a lot of companies just started ripping off his design. And often these knockoffs would be lower quality than his Damn Things, Damn Trolls. That's what they're called. And these copyright issues went on all the way to the second wave of trolls in the 80s and 90s. In fact, most people who liked trolls in the 90s didn't even have the original dolls. They had the knockoff ones. This was my favorite kind of troll doll growing up. I didn't have a troll doll. The ones with the jewels were knockoffs. Ah! Thomas Dam passed away in 1989, so he didn't even get to see the resolution happen. In 2003, after decades of legal battles, they finally got the copyright back. Toys do something special. They create nostalgia. And so it brings them back time and time again. And trolls have come back 3 times. Well, 2 times. They started in the 60s, when they faded out by the 70s. Then they start to creep back in the 80s. And by the early 90s, they're ripping and roaring again. But then by the year 2000, they go back down again. It's like this. And now they're back again. And each time they're slightly different, but I want to talk about the 80s, 90s ones in this video. So how did Trolls make a comeback after declining in the 70s? In 1983, the Norfin troll is introduced at the New York Toy Fair. This is with Thomas Dam. It just had a different name and they had updated a lot of the facial features. And by 1991, it wins Toy of the Year again for the second time. Before Trolls made their most recent comeback, there was an attempt at a comeback that failed. Well, I say failed because it only had one season before it was canceled, and I actually don't remember this show. It was in 2005. It was one season and 27 episodes about 5 trolls that learn about the magic of the 5, and they can only use it to fight evil and protect their beloved city. But then in 2016, Trolls comes out and it was a huge success, and my 5-year-old niece loves the soundtrack, and I think it won lots of awards, the soundtrack did. And, oh, they did this with Damn Things, the people who made the original Trolls, because there were so many knockoffs, you know, so that's good that they made it with the original people. I wish Thomas Dam had lived long enough to see this happen to his trolls. With the new movie, there were updates to the troll look, of course, too. And they made it plushy. Who doesn't love a plushie? Troll stories. This kind of troll, like the troll doll. This is Betty Miller. She was the first woman to cross the Pacific. Amelia Earhart was the Atlantic. The Pacific. She did this in the 60s, so this was 30 years after Amelia. This was a solo flight, and it was from California to Australia, and it took days. But what's this got to do with trolls? Well, she didn't actually do it solo. She brought her troll doll with her. And when she got to meet the president, JFK, after doing this amazing feat, she brought it with her to meet the president. I love this so much. There it is. And it was a Damn It doll. That's what they're called. And yeah, she brought it to the White House. Awesome. Yep, so that's the troll stories. There it is. Troll stories. This is Sherry Groom. She is the self-proclaimed troll queen. She calls herself a Huldra troll when they look human, except for their cowtail. So we'd have to ask her about that part. She owns the Troll Hole Museum, and it's in Ohio. And she holds the world record for the largest troll collection. So, how'd she get so many trolls? Well, a lady named Lisa Kerner, she owned Trolling Around, and she decided she was done with the troll business. So Sherry, she took the torch. She already had a collection, but then she added that to her own collection. Sherry's most famous troll is the Rod Stewart look-alike troll. Sherry got this from Lisa. Lisa got this from her boyfriend, who was Rod Stewart's accountant. And Rod Stewart got it on The Tonight Show. Sherry put Troll Hole in a small town. She says because trolls move to places that people abandon.
Gøl er blevet kendt for 2 ting. Hans Kirks bog om fiskerne, og så gøltrolden, som eksporteres til det meste af verden. Vi har kigget indenfor for at se, hvordan de små væsener kommer til verden. At Gøl er det rette sted for trolde, ja, det fortæller de mange sagn. Og Jeppe Dam, der er med til at drive den virksomhed, som hans bedstefar startede for over 30 år siden.